Hello everyone, Douglas here with another Fractally feedback. This week I'm going to talk about information dissemination and share with you our brand new team, the Web4 team, and why I would like you to join. I love that voice. That's a good voice. We should use that. Okay, so first of all, information dissemination. Now, this point was brought up when Dan came back from the meeting and explained that he had this sort of new idea or new proposal that had resulted from his experience in the meeting. So I've noticed this theme a lot where something that happens in Dan's meetings seems to be more relevant or more honored into the future process, right? So how Fractal works is you have this primary equation, right? So we're going to talk about how things are getting into and out of this equation. So let's think first about what are the components here. So normally in a fractal system, you have a equation like x sub 2 equals x sub 1 times a constant or a variable or something like that. So you take the output and you put it back into this equation continuously. But that equation doesn't change. So in Fractally, we have to determine, okay, what is our primer equation? What is our first node? And right now, before we're operating Fractally, Dan is the node, right? So Dan has all of the information needs to come to Dan and needs to go from Dan. And Dan needs to concretely define what this information is if he's still the primary node on the structure. And the reason is because if you don't define this primary equation, then number one, you're not a fractal, but number two, the information then is highly distorted at each individual thing. So how this is actually happening, Dan has said several different things throughout meetings as to how we should value contributions, right? At first he said it was just this week, and now he's saying, like, you know, you can keep bringing it up until you feel like your contribution has been honored, like you've received your value back from that. So that's an example of changing the equation, and how that affects with the information dissemination is, for example, in my groups, I'm very adamant to only rank things that have happened in the past week and very little for anything before that, because that was the original equation. So I'm still operating on that equation. So if this equation of how we value contributions changes, that information needs to be disseminated to each member of the group. Now, his counterpoint to that was, okay, well, we're doing this right here, right now. This is where you get the information. Well, what I expressed is this is a time-limited form of information that is not accessible, right? So if you're not there at a certain time, you don't get that information. And any fractal system that wants to exist where other members can come in and basically find that equation, because that's what you're looking at. The equation should be your vision. The equation should be what your primary function is. And people have to look in to see that so they can share the vision, so they're motivated to come into Fractally. So that's how I see things. And the counterpoint of this is how information gets to Dan, right? So we talked about Dan disseminating information and how we need this concrete equation of how something works so that it can go to all the members in a fractal fashion. So how about how information gets to Dan? Well, we don't have any format for contributions. We don't have any format to suggest changes. So where is Dan getting his information? Dan is getting his information. Yo, it's me from the future. Look, my hair's longer. I wanted to give a big shout out to Patrick. If you go to the Go Fractally site and you search mind map, you're gonna find his amazing mind maps. And a lot of the things I'm talking about, I'm asking to be put into a formalized practice, but they do naturally spring up. And I do believe that that's a big part of Dan's intention, is to let these things naturally spring up. So I do want to show you this amazing tool. This is mindweb.io. And yeah, I hope that he put some bigger links up top to the mind map so we can find them. But you can just go here and search mind map, and it comes up first. And this is the Fractally mind map. So this starts out as the EOS mind map, and then it's a fractal one. So this one goes to this fractal mind map. Shout out Patrick. And yeah, so this is where you can share your contributions. So like we have a topic for the Fractally brainstorming sessions that Patrick ones. I say we because I have shown up before, but yeah, so like if you do something, you can add it to this map, and definitely talk to him or check out his resources for more information about this. But yeah, I know he had contributions on here somewhere. So these are proposals. Proposal part 1, 2, 3. These are all the things that we're talking about. And because these are springing up naturally, we have the opportunity to do what I'm talking about as well, and that is take the things that spring up and put them into writing so that future people can find them. And that's what we intend to do at the Web4 Club, which we'll talk about, but back to me being a little bit sassy. So where is Dan getting his information? Dan is getting his information from the group he is in. And I'm not sure what other sources of information he has related to what's going into Fractally, but from what I've seen him multiple times operating on information which came directly from his experiences within the group. So if we look at this in a fractal fashion, what's going on? The node, the original primary node, has a certain iteration, and each of these iterations at the bottom level are one group reaching that consensus. So he now, instead of all of the groups having a direct path into the primary equation or into the first node, we have only one. Only the one that Dan's in is the only one that seems to be getting information back to the system. So what are we doing? If you study the geometry, what is that? It's a loop. Okay, a fractal goes like this, a loop goes like this. So when you have a fractal system, which should be a torus shape, this should be the center where this information is going through, and each of these are like little circles. So instead of this information going from all the circles, it's going into one circle, which then reiterates to itself and then goes to the other circle. So that's a different architecture, that's a different geometry, that's not fractal. And I expressed to Dan that like exactly what I'm saying now, as well as I'm exemplifying this idea of removing the time-limited element by sharing it in a way that can be discovered forever by putting it onto YouTube. Okay, so yeah, I think that's my rant. So now let's talk about the Web4 team. Now, if you know me, you know that I am a critical guy, but I'm critical with tools. I have solutions. I wrote the paper for Web4 about fractal biometric web in 2020. I also developed an attention-based curation system to go along with that. So these are aspects which I have already developed into a final form, and I feel like they need to be heard, right? So what is that? What am I talking about? What are these ideas? Well, this is Web4. So what I did was I developed the first fractal governance system, although I didn't call it that. I called it the first biomimetic economy on Wax. It's currently finishing up, or well, we're currently working on the smart contracts. They're public. They're being developed in public on GitHub. So I want to continue to develop these ideas, which I call Web4. And Web4 is a collection of the basic concepts and primitives to develop your own fractal system. So this is a layer above Fractally. And the things that we do here will be able to be used by Fractally and any other organization. So if you've never seen the Web4 manifesto, it's available on GitHub, and it's loading now. Okay, so yeah, this is the Web4 manifesto. So the problem, democracy, is slow and inaccurate. The solution is we provide each individual with equal power in a transparent decision-making process. So, you know, and it is acted upon in a predetermined way. So, okay, so this is a very simple concept, like I'm saying, but we do need to develop these primitives, such as time tokens, which is optional. Everything in this paper is optional. I make it very clear that these are modular, as well as, you know, we want to have some collaborators to have more influence. You know, that's sort of what we talked about in today's meeting as well, where we were talking about like the ranking member having some additional privilege in the group. And yeah, the rest of the paper, we basically go into these components: time tokens, proof of individuality, information entropy, geosocial systems, and this is where like I really want to go with it, is this concept of geotribes. And what else do we have? High fidelity democracy, and our roadmap. So this is exciting. I want to sort of focus on the conceptual, or like the spirit of what we want. And let's go on to phase 4. So geosocial systems are used as a replacement for representative government where it is the will of the people. Voters' informedness is measured and known as are the exact desires of the people. This creates collaboration and a renewed faith in democracy and a feeling of belongingness and appreciation for each individual member of that collective. So that's what we're going for here. We're going for an optional replacement for representative government. But it's not just that. That's like one application. So like I did on cxe.world, this is a Web4 system, and it's to curate music. That's the point. So it doesn't have to be about democracy, but at the same level, curation of music on cxe.world is democratic. These are systems of democracy. And I believe that the more we can develop them with fun, with a game involved, the more we can test these systems. So yeah, let's get together and build some stuff related to this. And you don't have to be a programmer, not at all. You can help in any specific way, like just by taking my sort of technical ideas. Doug was talking about this, Doug Wu, like taking my technical ideas and presenting them in a way that can be better communicated with more people. That's something that's very valuable. And there's a million other things you can do to help. So join the team if you want to. And I will make you read my paper. I will make you do a little bit to show me that you're really down for the cause. But we're not going to exclude people. If you want to be in, if you're willing to jump over the little hurdles that I placed to get in, you're going to be here right with us building this new version of democracy for the entire planet to enjoy in every way possible. So let's talk about what we really do. So this is our founding temple. This is what I've been sort of preaching that Fractally adopt. But yeah, I just wrote this morning. Like it doesn't take much time, and that's one of the sort of, I guess, contentions I have, is like these sort of simple things which I see as really easy and really important may not seem really easy or seem really important to other members. So the best I can do is to exemplify the best version of myself, and for anybody watching. So, okay, our vision. The vision should be the idealized version of the world. So each and every human on Earth is empowered, informed, and able to share their desires and opinions. These desires are being focused on through a collective economic mechanism that rewards participants and encourages voter informedness, and has meaningful support to manifest shared goals via economic and social structures. Mission: to develop the technology, customs, and culture around Web 4. Pillars: time tokens, proof of individuality, information entropy, geosocial systems, open discussion, improvement protocols, voter informedness models, decentralized event models. And that's something that's really cool. Like, I want us to get together and have fun. Like with CXC, we're gonna have Soulfest, and that's gonna be decentralized music parties. Like, I used to host music parties, and it was so much fun. Like, I want everybody to do this, or at least have an option to know, like, a template to follow if they want to have these things. And then because we have this template, we have this connected Web4 system, we can all sort of share, like everybody's having these events at one time. After the event, there's another opportunity to come together in a virtual space and share what happened in your event. So this is a way that we can sort of create something decentralized where it's happening all over, and then bring it back into one sort of collective, which would be an online meeting or something like that afterwards. So finally, our foundation, which is what it's our core belief that if this were to change, it were to shake everything. So our foundation is that manifestation increases exponentially when we focus on a shared desire. Now, this is something that comes from the law of one, but it's like this idea that the more people that focus on something, it doesn't just get better in a 1 + 1 = 3 way. It gets better as a 2 + 2 equals 4. Okay, well that's also squared, but the exponent might not be 2, but anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But so that is our core belief, that the more people that you get together, this manifestation will be faster and better for every party involved. And I believe that once we get these systems set up, we have a real chance to shake up culture on this planet pretty quickly. I don't want to say overnight, but definitely quicker than it was going before. So let's get together and figure out what this culture that we want to create on this planet is. See how we can bring together and bring people into one instead of excluding people, and as well as separating people into these geo-tribes for benefit, but also maintaining that connection to the whole. So that's all, guys. If you're new to me and want to see who I am and decide whether or not you want to join the Web4 team, you're welcome to check out these links at the bottom of here. It's got some of my coding experience, some of my sort of teachings in relation to fractals, and my rap music as well. I'm a rapper. I also design fractal clothing. So yeah, learn about me and decide whether or not you can resonate with me as a leader guiding us towards this goal. And and together we can not just grow together, but we can grow individually. And something that's really been beneficial to me is my communication has improved since joining Fractally. And I want to figure out how all of you all want to improve and help you to improve as well. Whether it's like learning more smart contract code, learning more about GitHub, learning more about social systems, learning more about these logical fallacies, or all of these things that are relevant. Because really, when you're building a social system, everything that's related to humans is relevant. Thanks for watching. Go Fractally. Peace.